Hey guys, I'm George, the nice medic gentleman. It's time for your daily dose of some fragrance content, and today I'm going to teach you how to properly macerate your fragrances. The term maceration is becoming increasingly popular amongst fragrance enthusiasts. Now, if you're not familiar with what maceration, maybe you've heard of maturation or aging. Basically, this is the process in which the fragrance is aging while it's in your possession. And the basic idea behind everything else, all of that, is that with time the fragrance becomes better. It becomes better blended, it smells better, it lasts longer, it projects better, all around it just simply becomes a better fragrance. Now, it's, as I said, this term maceration is becoming increasingly more popular. You're going to see videos about it online, you're going to read Reddit posts, maybe some Facebook group posts, maybe even you've seen it on Fragrantica itself, and it's more and more people are starting to get interested in ways to actually, macerate their fragrances properly. And luckily enough, I know a few things about how to properly macerate your fragrances, and today I'm going to share with you a few pro tips. But keep in mind that today's video is done in a joking style, don't take it too serious. Okay, let's start with tip number one. Let's say you've just bought your fragrance, brand new fragrance, or just received it, from the courier. You take it out, you take the plastic part out, you take out the bottle out of the box, you take out the cap, and you just spray it. You spray it, I don't know, 50, 100, 150 times. The more the better. 500 times. That will only speed up the process of maceration. Once you're done with spraying the fragrance, you put the cap back on, you put the bottle back into the box, and you stash the box in some cool, dry and dark place, and you wait for about, let's say, 3 or 4 months. The more you spray it and the longer you wait, the better your fragrance will become. Tip number two. You can actually, speed up this process a little bit by doing the following thing. Again, you take out the bottle, you take out the cap, you spray it, and then you leave it without the cap on. You still put it back into the box itself, but you don't put the cap back on. And you leave the box like this, you don't fully close the box as well. This way more air, more oxygen will go into the bottle, and this will speed up the actual process of maceration, and this will shorten the time from, let's say, about 3 months to maybe about a month and a half. Another great way to actually, even to properly macerate your fragrance and speed that process even more is when you take out the actual bottle and do the same thing but upside down. You spray it like this. As you can see, at some point, the fragrance starts to, it doesn't come out anymore, but you're still putting some air inside the bottle itself. Think of it like inflating a balloon. Basically, you're putting more oxygen, more air into the bottle. This will speed up the whole process even more. And if you again put it back into the actual box without the cap and without closing the box, this will speed up the process of maceration even further. And this way you'll probably have a brand new fragrance. Believe me, after these tips, the fragrances, after they are macerated the way that I'm telling you right now, after you spray them those amount of times, after you wait that time, those fragrances will smell completely different. They will be like a totally different fragrance. Now, spraying it upside down, putting it into the box without the cap on and without closing the actual box will speed up this process even further, and this way you can enjoy your fully macerated fragrance in about a month's time. Another pro tip is to, once you take out your fragrance, your brand new fragrance, you open it up, you spray it 100, 50, 100, 200 times, the more the better. You put everything back on, you put it back into its box, and you leave it in your basement. Now, this is very important. Don't stash it up in your bedroom, your bathroom, your kids' room, or whatever. Stash it up in your, basement. That's very important. If you don't have a basement, basically you cannot use this way to macerate your fragrances. And the last pro tip, the last very proper way to actually macerate your fragrances, again, take out the bottle, spray it a few hundred times, put it back into the box itself, and leave it into your refrigerator. The colder it's inside, the better it is for a fragrance. And believe me, a few months down the road, this will be a totally different fragrance. This one in particular smells like Tom Ford's Oud Wood. It's called Oud Noir from Rayhaan. But after it sits and macerates in your refrigerator for a few months, once you take it out, this will probably smell like Ultra Mole. It will change that much. And at the end of the video, I just want to actually end up the video on a more of a serious note. Now, the process of maceration, maturation, or aging, or whatever you want to call it, is a real thing. Whether you believe it or not, whether some people make fun of it or not, it's a real thing. But my advice will be, don't stress too much about the process of maceration. Basically, this process starts way before this fragrance actually ends up in your hands. This process starts at the moment when the first ingredients, everything that goes into making this fragrance, for example, when all the ingredients are put together, that's when the process of maceration actually has already started. And it continues throughout the life of this fragrance. And there are two ways that the process of maceration actually ends. The first way is by you actually finishing up the whole bottle of the fragrance. That's one way to actually end up the process of maceration. The other way is if you are not keeping your fragrance in a proper way, if you're not stashing it up in a proper way, or wait long enough before the actual fragrance inside actually goes bad or spoils. That's the other way that the process of maceration ends. So basically, the process of maceration begins whenever this fragrance is put together, and it lasts for the whole duration or the whole life of this fragrance. Again, don't stress yourself too much about maceration. Just buy your fragrances, spray them, enjoy them as they are. It doesn't matter if you want or not, this process of maceration will go through the time that this fragrance is actually in your possession. Again, don't stress yourself too much about maceration. So guys, in today's video, keep in mind, I tried in a jokingly way to give you a few pro tips on how to properly macerate your fragrances. I hope that you found this video interesting or funny to watch. If you did, give it a like. And I also hope that you're going to join me tomorrow for your daily dose of some fragrance content. And until then, stay safe and bye-bye.